So, early this morning, or late last night, however you want to look at it, Nintendo's quarterly earnings information dropped for the first quarter of this 2022 fiscal year. So I wanted to take a look at some of the highlights from this thing. Let's start, as always, with the big number. Console sales. The Nintendo Switch now sits at just over 89 million units sold. 89.04 is the total they gave us. This puts it now ahead of both the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The PlayStation 3 sold 87.4 million systems, and the Xbox 360 sold 84 million systems. And that means, in terms of all console sales, the Wii is next. The Wii has been next in terms of Nintendo competing with just themselves, but now overall even, that is the next hurdle for them to conquer. The Wii sold 101.63 million systems, which means the Switch needs to put up another 12 million and change. 13 million sales will get it there, and I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think the sales for this past quarter, they were like 4.4 million. It's down from last year, which we'll talk about, but because I think that's expected with gaming as a whole, with the kind of year we had last year, the demand for systems and games. But looking towards the future, we've got the Switch OLED coming this holiday, which will count towards the Switch total, as it's considered, of course, part of the Switch family of systems. And with that being the next new system for Nintendo, it's fair to say the Switch has a good amount of life left in it. At least a couple years, right? So I don't think it will have any issue hitting that number. Now, as far as after that, we've got the Game Boy and Nintendo DS for the Switch to overthrow in Nintendo's own family. Game Boy, I think it'll get there as well. The DS, though, I think that's going to be too big of a monster. The only way I see the Switch doing those kinds of numbers is if they basically cheat. They release what's essentially a Switch 2 and try to still consider it to be in the Switch family. It wouldn't make much sense for them to do that, though. I think whenever we do get a Switch 2, I'm assuming it's probably going to be around holiday 2023 now. The current Switch will also continue to get some support for a bit after that. So I think beating both the Wii and the Game Boy are fairly safe bets. No matter what the final number ends up being, though, not bad in terms of sales for this system, especially when you consider Nintendo was coming off of the disastrous failure that was the Wii U. I mean, you want to talk about a 360 going from the Wii U to the Switch? What a friggin' comeback. Great stuff. Looking over at the software side of things, we got a new player in the Switch's top 10 sellers, which may surprise you. Ring Fit Adventure has knocked off Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe to become the 10th best-selling Switch game with 11.26 million copies sold. Myself, I'm a fat piece of shit, so anything with fit in the title probably isn't for me, but since it knocked off Mario Bros. U, I love this game. Anyone who topples that evil has my respect. Made me sick seeing that overpriced crap on the top 10. Now I don't have to look at its stupid face anymore. Going up towards the top of the list, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Boys, this game. Can't anything stop it? Like, with Animal Crossing New Horizons' rate of sales when it first came out, I thought it was going to take down Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, at least for a bit. Like, maybe they'd jockey for the spot, go back and forth. But no, it looks like it's just too powerful. And still, though, despite that, and this goes out to who'd ever like to try and question the strength of the Mario Kart series, it's still not the top-selling Mario Kart game. Mario Kart Wii still sits at 37.38 million units sold, which I personally consider to be the best-selling Wii game. I mean, that Wii Sports number is unfair bullshit in my opinion, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will surely surpass Mario Kart Wii sooner rather than later, assuming that a good amount of future Nintendo Switch sales, people continue to just pick up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's just a game it seems like everyone buys. The only thing I think could slow this game down is a Mario Kart 9, which we all know is never going to happen. Looking at some of the other big sellers, we can actually see how Animal Crossing is trailing off in comparison. It sold 1.29 million units this past quarter, while again Mario Kart 8 did 1.69. So even though Animal Crossing is a much newer game, it just can't keep pace with Mario Kart 8. Maybe Nintendo, if you ever gave those Animal Crossing people some new content to get excited about, it would move a bit better. I mean, you guys ever think about that? Throwing a bone to the people who helped you move? 33 million or so copies of this game already? Other notable sellers were Mario Golf Super Rush doing 1.34 million. Solid opening for that game. And thank God, new Pokemon Snap doing work with 2.07 million units sold. You can always bet on games to do at least decent with the Pokemon name on them, but with Snap being such a different type of game and being part of a franchise that's been dead for decades now, I was still worried about it going in. Great to see it doing well. I love that game, and those players are already being rewarded with new content updates. What a crazy idea. Overall, sales for Nintendo Switch systems and software are down from last year, but like I was saying, I think that's to be expected. Still strong, but hopefully you're not going to ever see a year like 2020 again. I think we can all agree on that. Like I was saying with Ring Fit Adventure doing so well, you had a lot of people locked up in their homes, gyms and that were closed, as well as just many people not wanting to be around other people, so that's why I think we saw that game performing so well. Just like with everything else, yet people were cooped up at home, so video game sales were through the roof last year. On the horizon, once more, we've got the Nintendo Switch OLED coming out, which will surely give the system a boost in sales. I expect we'll see a similar pattern with the OLED as we did the Switch Lite. Maybe not as strong with it being a higher-end model, and we didn't get the draw I think a lot of people were hoping for in terms of at least getting a little bit of a power boost out of it. But still, nevertheless, it's new hardware. There's always excitement around new hardware. This is something I try to explain to people. Like, there are probably millions of people that are just going to buy every new Nintendo system no matter what. So there's going to be demand when this thing comes out. But just like we're seeing with the Switch Lite, overall people will still trend towards the standard Switch, and that will quickly become the dominant system again. That's just how these things work. Cheaper models tend to be more popular. The only reason I still think the Switch Lite, with it being the cheapest option overall, isn't doing better is because of the fact that it doesn't actually switch, that it's purely a handheld. I think that's too big of a handicap with a lot of people. Even though it is the cheapest version, people still want their Switch to be able to switch. And as for upcoming games, we've got a ton of stuff coming up. I mean, just this year, Metroid Dread. I mean, seriously, a new Metroid game is coming and it's only a couple months away. That still doesn't even seem real. I do definitely hope that game sells well. I want Samus to be here to stay this time, guys, so I hope you support her. Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming out as well this year. Diamond and Pearl remakes. Despite people like me not being impressed with what we're seeing from those games, you'd be insane to bet against them in the sales department. And don't forget immediately to kick off 2022 in January, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which, man, I am equal parts hyped and nervous about that game. I hope that's the start of a new direction for Pokemon, I really do, but it's got a lot of its own hurdles to overcome. Breath of the Wild 2 is coming in the more distant future, Splatoon 3 also, hopefully Prime 4 releases before we're all dead. There's a ton of big stuff to look forward to. I think if Nintendo can stay the course on what they're doing now in terms of releases, these strong sales trends are only going to continue and get stronger as we build towards what is surely the next Nintendo console, I think set to drop in the next probably 2 to 3 years. I think it's a great time to be a Nintendo fan right now, and I'd say the outlook for this company's future is fantastic. And with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on this latest quarterly report from Nintendo in the comments. Did anything surprise you? A Ring Fit Adventure being on the top 10 list, perhaps? Maybe just how insane Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to do, but I think at this point we got to expect that. And how do you think the Switch is going to close out its lifetime sales-wise? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.